Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And this is the Home Repairs and Solutions Show, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air. The host for Home Repairs and Solutions this morning is Mary Pearson. And now here she is, our Home Repairs and Solutions expert, Mary.
Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Mary. How are you this morning?
I'm good, but I'm a little sad.
I
Mark's not here.
Yes, we miss him, don't we?
I do. I miss him a lot when he's not here. And I always miss my Friday morning hug.
Yes.
He always gives me a hug.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get my hug this morning from Mark, but hopefully he's doing better today. As some of you know, he had surgery on his shoulder this week. Mm-hmm. And I texted him earlier in the week to see how he was doing. He said the surgery went fine, but he's still in a lot of pain. Yeah. So hopefully he's feeling better today. And if you're out there listening, miss you and love you, Mark. So we'll see you soon. And it's always more fun when he's here.
Absolutely. But we'll be fine.
We'll be fun. We're still going to have fun.
That's right.
Every Friday morning here at Home Repairs and Solutions, we always have a good time. The sun always shines no matter what. So it's always a happy place to be. And we appreciate all of our listeners who join us every week. And I think before we start out, we have a great guest on the show today. I'm anxious to announce him and let you guys know what he does. But before we do that, I think I should give out the numbers in case someone needs to call and ask a question today. Mm-hmm. Because we'd like our callers to call in and ask their questions when our professionals are here to answer them. So an easy way to reach us here at Home Repairs and Solutions is you can dial 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. Or if you're a Verizon person, you can dial *56. You cannot send us a text today because Mark's not here and he takes care of the text messages. So you'll have to give us a call today, but that's okay. We'll be nice to you on the phone, so you can give us a call. So I think I'll start out. I'll introduce our guest today. We have Chris Allman with us today from the Glass Guru. We have had the Glass Guru on before, but it was under a previous owner. And so I am excited to have Chris on the show today. He actually does work for my co-host Mark, and I'm sad that Mark can't be here. But anyway, we're going to have a good time, and we're going to talk about what you can do to help folks out there with their glass windows. So welcome to the show, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Why don't you start out and tell people a little bit about what Glass Guru can do for them? What do you guys do?
Sure. Glass Guru is a window restoration and repair company. So if you've got a broken window, we can basically help you fix that. We can help you repair it versus replacing it and help you save some money in the process. Net, that's what we do. We've got some specialty services. The number one service that we do is we get moisture out of dual pane windows. So all of us have seen at some point in time where you've got moisture in a dual pane window, and it doesn't look very nice. It's not very attractive.
And no matter how much you wipe it, it doesn't clear up.
No, it's because that moisture is on the inside, and that's a great point. And so we actually remove the moisture from dual pane windows. We have a guaranteed, proven service, and once the window's dry, we guarantee it to be dry for 10 years. So that service costs about half of what it would cost to replace the window. So it's a very valuable service, save you money. It's a green solution as well, so less glass in the landfills.
Okay, so what causes that to happen? How come you would get moisture or fog? And I guess it's moisture, but sometimes you have that kind of foggy look in there.
Sure, and that's what folks call it, is a foggy
look.
Sure.
And so, I mean, why does that happen? What happens when you get fog in your window?
Great question. So what happens, you've got a dual pane window. There's two pieces of glass that have a hermetic seal, so it's an airtight seal. And what happens through the days, years, and and so on is that the window will expand and contract because the air inside the pane is heating up and cooling all day long, every day, all year. And so eventually that causes enough stress on the seal of the dual pane unit, and then that seal will break. So the window continues to expand and contract, and what it does now is that it pulls air in and pushes air out at the same time, but the moisture is left behind. And so eventually that moisture becomes visible and increases, and then you see it as a foggy window.
So you're able to come in and you're able to clear all that out and then reseal it, I'm assuming. You can guarantee that for 10 years?
Absolutely. We've got a proven system. We've been doing it since 2001 nationally, so it's a proven service. And what we end up doing is we end up drilling from the outside in the top corner of the window and the bottom corner of the window. And so we've got a little special sprayer that will actually spray a cleaning solution in, a non-streaking solution in, and then a drying agent in. And the whole time we're spraying into the window, we've got a micro tube at the bottom hole that I mentioned where we're actually pulling that liquid back out.
Oh.
So after we've cleaned it all out and gotten all the moisture from our cleaning solution out as well, we have little, what we call micro vents that go on top of the holes on the outside of the window. That allows the window to continue its healing process, its drying out process. And once it's dried, we guarantee it to be dry for 10 years. So
Wow. That's incredible.
it's a really neat feature. It saves people a lot of money, and you can see out your window again, which is the most important thing. So
Well, sure. What's the point of having a window if you can't see out of it?
agreed.
So, well, that is great to know, and that's something, and I think oftentimes the first time, because we've had windows do that in the past, and so the first thing that I thought of was when we had one do that, I thought, oh, great, now we've got to replace this window. The windows that we had do that was actually in our sunroom, which kind of makes sense. It would happen out there because it was faced south, and so I guess they would heat up. I mean, that room would always heat up more than other parts of the house, and the windows we put in, we had a lifetime guarantee as long as we owned the home. And so I would just call them and say, hey, I've got another window that I can't see out or whatever. And they would come and replace it. But if you don't have that option, if you've bought a house or if you have a situation where, you don't have any of that type of guarantee, then it's good to know that there's a solution for that as opposed to replacing a window, because it does cost quite a bit if you have to come, especially a dual pane. If can you just replace the glass, or do you have to replace the whole window if you're going to do a replacement?
No, that's a great question. A lot of people think that, wow, that window is not looking great, I have to replace the whole window, and that is certainly not the case. So we can actually replace just the dual pane glass in the window, much more affordable. You don't have to change the look of the house. Potentially you couldn't find the same window that you have in there, so that could be an issue.
Yeah.
And so it's very precise. We swap out the dual pane insulated glass unit, and that's all. And so it looks like it did when it was a new window. It was clear. There's no change to the window whatsoever, and it's a great solution. So.
Can you do that no matter what the framing is? Like, I know we have wood frame, we have plastic or vinyl frame windows now. There's different substances that we use to frame windows in. Does it matter? Does that make any difference as to how this works or how the replacement works, or can you do it for anything?
We can do it for anything, whether it's wood, vinyl, aluminum. That's not a problem. Each window is a little bit different in getting it apart, but we can definitely achieve the same results replacing the insulated unit or doing the moisture removal as well. So the type of window or what the window is made out of doesn't matter too much.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking, how do you take a vinyl window apart and then replace the glass and then make it all seal back together? I just think things like that's really interesting, because I think once you take all that apart, I don't know how you get it to seal properly after that, but especially with something that's like vinyl or plastic. But, there's amazing things in the world today. So
absolutely,
all you need is the right person to do it, correct?
Well, that's where I was about to go. We are blessed with some very skilled technicians. Our lead technician, Neil Sade, is an outstanding individual. He just does amazing work with specifically wood windows. Wood windows are definitely a little more challenging. They also, if you have nicks or anything, they nick easy, I guess is what my point would be, because it's made out of wood. It's a little softer material. And it's really important to us to have the window not change in any visual aspect whatsoever, other than now we have a clear view through a new cleared, non-foggy dual pane window, and then if we can't get the moisture out via a new insulated glass unit. So he's very skilled, and we're happy to have him with us on our team, and he's constantly teaching me something. I try to learn something new every day, and Neil's not short on any information at all. So. Well,
that's good. Well, I know, for instance, like wooden windows. We had wooden windows at our home in Nixa before we replaced them all. And the day I knew we needed to replace the windows was when I drove up in the driveway and the window in the living room was about to fall out. And I went, oh, I think we have a problem. So we actually went in and replaced all of our windows. But if you have a wooden window, and what happened with ours is ours were so old that they had kind of rotted. And so once they started doing that, of course, then they didn't fit the opening properly, and that's why they were about to fall out, because they had started to deteriorate. So if you have someone that has a window that's starting to deteriorate like that, that's made out of wood or something, do you come in and do you completely rebuild a frame, or how do you handle that situation?
Sure. Actually, so casement windows, the kind that crank out sideways,
Yeah.
90% of the time, those are made out of wood. They are unfortunately notorious for collecting water at the bottom of the sash, which does promote wood rot, and so the bottom of that window starts to disintegrate, like you had mentioned. And we actually have a wood rot repair service where we will come out, we'll take measurements on that window, we will rebuild that window like factory new and replace the old rotted window out. And that's another service that's basically done at half the cost it would to replace that window in its entirety. So another thing that I've learned that's relevant to kind of what we're talking about is that some window companies don't last much longer than 10 years. So it can be an issue to try to find, if you were wanting to replace just one set of windows on an entire house, that company's still in business and able to match the windows that are on the rest of the house. So in the past, if you had to replace and that company didn't exist, you'd have a set of windows that looked different than the rest of the house. With the wood rot repair, that's not the issue at all. We make it look just like it did, which then matches the rest of the house. So saving you a lot of money as well. It's really a great service that we offer that a lot of people take advantage of. And a lot of people don't know that you can actually repair the wood rot, and they think, kind of like the earlier situation, I have a foggy window, oh, the whole window needs to be replaced. But we've got that service as well, and we've got a lot of happy customers that we've provided that service.
I'll bet
to.
you do. Yeah, that's got to be much better than, because it costs, I've replaced windows at 2 houses, it's expensive. One of the things we've talked about on the show before, we've talked about windows and stuff, most of the time, I don't know, window manufacturers very seldom, if ever, put their name on their windows. So sometimes it's even hard to find who made that window.
What type of window
What
it
type
is.
of window it is and all that. And some people will think, they'll put the name on the crank or whatever and they'll think that's the name of the window. That's not the name of the
And
window.
that can be different, absolutely.
So it can be really complicated if you have a window, like you said, and you just want to replace one. Sometimes it takes a scientist and 3 monkeys just to find out where that window came from in the first place to try and match it. So to be able to come out and just replace the glass and leave the integrity of the look, I think is great.
No, our customers really appreciate that, and it's a cost-effective solution as well. So you can't beat saving money and having that extra money for other things than
Fun things.
replacement windows. So.
There you go. Fun things like, ice cream cones or something.
Sure, absolutely.
That's one of my fun things, ice cream cones. If you're just tuned in, we are talking with Chris Allman today of Glass Guru. If you have a house, you probably have windows in it. And at some point in time, you're going to have an issue with those windows. We've talked about this a lot on the show. Houses are not maintenance free. Over time, things happen, and things happen to windows, doors, the roof, all kinds of things, the heating and air, different things like that. So it's important to know who to call when you have a situation like that come up. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go to the yellow pages. You don't want to Google window repair and just get whoever pops up. So that's what we like to do on the show. We like to make you aware of who's available in our area, who the professionals are, and who you need to call when that situation comes up. So if you are listening today and would like to write down the number for Glass Guru, then I'm going to let Chris give out his contact information, and that way you'll know how to get a hold of him when you have something come up with your windows. So how do they contact you, Chris?
Sure. Our phone number is 417, of course, 708-1231. You can also get some information about our company at our website, which is theglassguruofspringfield.com. And again, our phone number is 708-1231.
I was looking at your website here, and you have some videos on here. I love videos. You can read something, but a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Absolutely.
And you've got a video on here. One of them is foggy window repair video, and it's showing how that you repair one of these dual pane windows that's got fog in them. So if you want to know how that works, if you're not sure what he's talking about, if you need something more visual, go to his website, theglassguruofspringfield.com, and click on that video, and it will show you how that this process can be done and how they can take care of that issue for you. One of the other things that they have on their website as well is their specialty services. Like he said, he's talking about the wood rot repair. They have leaky window repair. This is something, what's this hard water protection? What is that about?
Well, the hard water protection, we have a product that's called Glasstastic, excuse me.
Okay.
And basically it leaves a coating on the window that will repel water and the stains from water. So it's kind of a coating that keeps the discoloration that can happen over time to windows, also to shower doors. That would be a similar situation where it's exposed to moisture on a regular basis. And then you've got mineral deposits, calcium in water, and once that water dries out, the sediments, calcium and minerals will be left behind as a residue. So we can get that out and then also put down the coating that you're talking about and prevent it from building up again.
I do have, down at the lake where I'm at, we do have relatively hard water. And that's something that I'm always constantly doing, is having to keep all the filter screens and stuff in my faucets cleaned out, and like my shower heads and all that type of stuff. I do not have a door on my shower. Yay. I just have a walk-in tile shower, which I love. So I don't have to deal with a door situation, but I do have to deal with the hard water spots and stuff like that. So I know what you're talking about. And I've been in houses where you've seen the shower doors and they are kind of discolored, or there's a lot of buildup or residue on them because of the hard water and that type of thing. So I think that's a great idea to have something you could put on there to kind of shed all that off of there and not have to deal with that. That's the number one reason why we put a walk-in shower, because I hate to clean a shower door. I hate it. And so we remodeled, and I was like, no shower doors for me. Just get them out of here. I don't want a shower door. But it's good to know that there's something like that you can do. You also have glass scratch removal. I didn't know you could take scratches out of glass.
Yep, you can. It takes a little bit of work, but basically what we're doing is we're going to sand the window and the glass down a little bit until it gets the scratch flush, and then what we end up doing is polishing it and bringing it back to a clear view. So we're kind of wearing it down and then bringing it back, and it's a time. It takes a little bit of time to do, but it's definitely got a great result. And versus replacing it, it's definitely more cost effective.
I would guess this is for probably a scratch that isn't really deep into the glass. How deep can the scratch be before you can pull that back out?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, there are some scratches that are just too deep. What happens if you end up working on those? I told you we kind of sand down the glass, and when we bring it back, if it was very deep. There's going to be some disfiguration, kind of like looking through maybe your glasses. It'll look like an eyeglass lens in the glass. There's some distortion there.
I see.
And so we don't really like that not be the case. We'd like our repairs all to be clean, crisp, and done properly. And we're just not happy when we have that distortion.
Sure.
And so there are deeper scratches that we won't work on, but it's definitely something we can come by, take a look at. There's no cost involved with our quotes, and we can let you know what options are available.
Free estimates. Don't we love that word, free? That's always good. Free estimates. So, but that's good to know, because if you haven't had this done before, like in my case, I haven't had any glass replacement, I haven't had any scratches removed or anything like that, I wouldn't have a clue what that would cost. So that, you come out and check over their situation, see what needs to be done, tell them what it's going to take to repair it. And I like to deal with people where I don't have any surprises. I don't like it when they say, oh, it'll be about this, and then it comes up double what they said it was about to be. So for someone to come out and tell you, okay, this is your situation, this is what's going on with your glass, this is what we could do to help you, and this is what it's going to take to fix it. So I think that's great. That's why I wanted to have you on the show.
Well, we're happy to be here, and you're exactly right. There's no about to it. There's no, we like to be surprise free, and so
yes,
we do leave a written quote, and we follow up with an emailed version of that quote as well to let you know exactly what's going to be involved and what your options are. So
now, since you're dealing with glass, I have another question. Does the homeowner have to be there for you to come out and look at it. You know, a lot of people, we're busy and we're at work and that type of thing. Sometimes it's hard to take off work. If they say, you know, I have this is where my window is on the outside of my house. Can you come by and give me a quote on what it costs to fix it or replace it? Can you do that, or do you really need the homeowner to be there?
Well, the answer to that is sometimes. It depends.
Okay.
Different windows have different things that you need to see that sometimes are on the inside and sometimes are on the outside. And of course, if it's on a second story, I mean, we can bring a ladder to observe from outside and see if we can come up with the solution externally. So
Sure.
we talk with our customers when they call in, and we find out what's going on specifically, and we can really figure out from that point, hey, this is something that we can look at from the outside, or it's something that we need to take a look from the inside. So
I see. Okay. Wow. The music's on. Does that mean we need to take a break? Okay. That's my clue to be quiet for a few minutes. We're going to take a break, but we're going to be right back with more home repairs and solutions.
Now if you've got a problem and you don't know what to do, your siding's going bad and you're plagued with green mildew. Well, your faucets, they all drip and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions. Home Repairs and Solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. 2 people are dead and a third seriously injured in a crash on Highway 13. 79-year-old Billy Ogden of Pocahontas, Arkansas, and 61-year-old Cheryl Harsham of Fishers, Indiana, died when the motorhome they were riding in blew a front tire, careened into an embankment, and flipped over near Good Samaritan Boys Ranch. 79-year-old Jerry Ogden was driving. He was seriously injured. Some 4,500 Empire District Electric customers spent the night in the dark as crews worked to restore power. It started when a fire shut down a transformer at a substation. And a major fundraiser is scheduled for tomorrow night for Honor Flight of the Ozarks. The dinner and auction will be at the Tower Club to raise money to take World War II, Korean War, and terminally ill veterans to Washington. State Senator Bob Dixon will serve as Master of Ceremonies. Representative Billy Long will serve as auctioneer. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
A sunny, hot, and humid day today, high 97, then a star-studded sky for tonight with a low 74. Mostly sunny and hot tomorrow, high 98 and a low 71, then humid for Sunday with mostly sunny skies, a high 98. Partly sunny and hot for Monday and Tuesday, a high both days of 98. Could see a thunderstorm on Wednesday, high 90. I'm AccuWeather's Kevin Snyder.
It's 87 degrees at AM 560 KWTO.
Here's incredible news. For every $10 you spend at Incredible Thrift, you help employ a homeless youth in our community. Stop by the Incredible Thrift Supercenter on South Glenstone for quality clothing, furniture, and household items at garage sale prices. Incredible Thrift has lots of clothing for just $1 to $5. Stretch your dollar and help youth in our community achieve independence. Incredible Thrift, 1636 South Glenstone. Incredible Thrift congratulates their incredible partners, Republic Ford and Godfather's Pizza.
My bad back loves my Craftmatic.
My bad back loves my Craftmatic bed.
My bad back loves my Craftmatic adjustable bed.
These aren't actors. They're real people who sleep better every night thanks to their Craftmatic adjustable bed. Just call 800-371-9576. That's 800-371-9576 for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. Amaze yourself and see how little they cost. Rated #1 by ConsumerAffairs.com, Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. So if you've ever had a bad night's sleep, wake up sore, stiff, with back, neck, or shoulder pain, call for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. Amaze yourself. See how little they cost. Call 800-371-9576. That's 800-371-9576. 800-371-9576. Call now.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, you need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions.
And that is Mark Withers doing the Home Repairs and Solutions song, that #1 hit from the...
I don't know. Long time ago.
That's right. But Mary Pearson is the host today on the Home Repairs and Solutions, but it's brought to you by Spring Mountain Air. We will... and your host today is Mary Pearson.
That's
and
right.
The numbers to call, if you have questions, any home repair and solutions questions, but especially if it's about glass windows, glass of any kind, call 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. No texting today, Mary.
No texting. Sorry about that.
That's right.
That's Mark's expertise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have a smartphone, so I'm I'm antiquated when it comes to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll be back next week, hopefully, and then you can text your questions in. If you just joined us, welcome to
You can text him today, and he'll bring him in next week.
That's true. I don't remember his number. But if you've got Mark's number, send him a text and say, thinking about you, hope you're doing better. But if you've just joined us this is the second half of the Home Repairs and Solutions show, and we are visiting with Chris Allman today of Glass Guru. One of the things that Chris does that I think is really neat, I'm looking on his website so you can find out all kinds of great information, but they install in glass pet doors. I didn't even know you could do that.
Absolutely, yeah, it's really neat. So whether it's your sliding glass door, patio door, or even a French door, we can actually put a pet door into the glass portion of that door, so you don't have to cut into the side of your house. It's just a pet door that's positioned in a really great spot, and is kind of where you'd be letting the pets out anyway. And again, I think the biggest point is you don't have to cut into your house and find a good place for a pet door. Your sliding glass door is a great place for your pet door, and that's a service that we provide, and we do a lot of those.
Yeah, and it looks really neat. And, a lot of people have pets. It's amazing what people spend on pets these days. I know that my parents had a cat. They just had to put her down. I think last week she was 20-some years old and was getting very feeble and was having some issues. And so, they did the right thing, and they didn't want her to suffer.
Sure.
And but I will tell you, this cat was the princess. She ate out of a crystal. I kid you not. My mom bought her a very fancy crystal dish to eat out. I mean, it's just incredible what people spend on their pets. And if you have a pet that maybe you have to leave at home during the day and it's been so hot outside and you've got a fenced yard and you need access for that pet to get in and out, they can go out but they can come back in where it's cool and they're not outside in the heat. This is a great option. I'm looking at it here, and it actually does not look bad at all in the door like that. It doesn't block the view. It doesn't, your view of looking out of your doors or anything. So that is a really neat solution for someone who might have a situation where they need to be able to let their pet in and out because they're not home. I hate to see a pet tied outside when it's 100 degrees outside with the water bowl that they've turned over. That just isn't a cool thing to do. So this is an option for you if you're into something like that, or if you have a pet that needs you need some help with something like that. Call Chris. Go to the website and check this out. It's really neat. And he can come and take care of that for you. And Fido will be much happier.
Absolutely. And that's what we want for all of our customers out there, is their pets to be happy. That's important to us. We have pets in our family, and
I do too.
They're part of the family.
They are
quite
too.
Honestly, so.
Oh yeah, little Tucker. I've talked about Tucker before. He's my Bichon, and he's just an amazing companion and partner. And I take him everywhere. And I just, he's spoiled rotten, but he's worth it. He's worth all of it. And I always want him to be comfortable and happy and healthy. And I think most people do. Most people that have pets are very caring and loving to their animals. So that's something that I didn't know you could do. And like Mark says, we learn something new on this show every Friday. I love having people on that are experts in a field that I know nothing about, because then I can always learn something from them. And then I was looking on here. It looks like that, one of the things we were talking about at the break is you wanted to make people aware that you are not a window replacement company.
Sure.
You are a repair. And so it's important to differentiate that, to make sure that, when you call Chris out, he's going to actually do a repair for you at less cost than a replacement.
Absolutely. We believe that you might have issues with one or two of your windows, not necessarily all of your windows. And so that's what we want to do, is help you fix those one or two problems, not replace the window, but fix the existing window that you have. Most of the time, you're saving a lot of money doing that. And, who doesn't need more money for fun stuff in life? Ice cream,
Absolutely.
like you said earlier.
Absolutely.
So.
Now, we've talked a lot about you replace dual pane windows, but you also do single pane.
We do. We do replacements for single pane glass, dual pane glass, and then patio French doors. Those are usually, those can be both as well. So
single or dual, yeah.
Yeah, we cover the gamut there. So.
Well, that's good to know. One time at the lake, we had a neighbor that has a glass patio door downstairs, and in the process of mowing his yard, he threw a rock through it and shattered the glass door on one side.
We saw a lot of that when spring rolled around this year, actually.
Yeah. So if you're one of those people that threw a rock through your glass door and shattered it, call Chris. You don't have to replace the whole door. He'll come in and repair that side of the door for you and put some new glass in it, and it'll be okay.
Absolutely.
You never like those kind of surprises, but they do happen, and so... hopefully it doesn't happen to you, but if it does, there's an answer for you and someone that can come out and take care of that.
Well, and there's no shortage of rocks in Missouri either. So.
No, that's what we grow here. If you don't believe me, till a garden and see how many rocks keep coming out of the ground. Yeah, it's interesting. But let me see. What else was on here that was interesting to me? Anything else? Anything I've missed that you want to bring up? You have so much stuff here.
Yeah, sure. Something else that I would bring up is that so there's different pieces of windows that deteriorate, fall apart, that we replace. If you have a double hung window, there's actually balancers in the side, and they work quite honestly like the springs on your garage door. They help take some of the weight off of the window, so when you open it up, it stays where you stopped pushing it. And sometimes those will fall apart, stop working. We replace those balancers. On casement windows, those are the ones with the cranks, and those seem to fall apart after time.
The crank does?
Yeah. The crank, the mechanism within the crank, so you'll have a casement window and you'll be opening it just a little bit, and then all of a sudden it'll just stop. Or even worse, you'll get it all the way open, and when you go back to close it, it'll stop a couple inches short of being able to close it completely, and you might have to go outside and push it shut. And so that's from a crank mechanism that's just old and failing, and we can replace those as well. So the different parts of the window we can replace additionally. We also have a crank lubricant service. So again, with the casement windows, sometimes they're just really hard to open and close, and sometimes it just needs to be lubricated. So we can come out and do just that and get your windows back to proper operating order. So
I wonder how many folks have had those double hung windows, and when they wouldn't stay open or work, replace the window.
I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah, I didn't realize you could come in and just replace those particular parts of the window, because I would have just thought, well, you just got to put in a new window. I actually have those. I like those. They're easy to kind of tilt out and clean and that type of thing. And I really like those windows. We put those in both of our houses when we replace windows. So that's the kind of window that I kind of tend to go toward, just because of ease of cleaning, because some of the windows in my house at the lake are kind of tall. And so I don't always like to drag a ladder around to try and clean them. So it makes it easy for me to do that. But you're right. It makes them easy to lift and move in and out and stuff. But I didn't think about, if that quits working, that you can replace those balances and things like that, and then your window's still good and you don't have to replace it.
Well, and I think a lot of people out there are in the same boat. They just don't know, and so that's why we appreciate being on the show.
That's
today,
right. That's why we have people on the show, to educate us all.
Everything that we do, or at least most everything that we do. Other things are sometimes your locks break, or sometimes when you want to dip in a dual pane window, you lean it in like you were talking about to clean. Well, sometimes the pegs that you push in to lean it in, sometimes those go missing or break, and we replace those also. Rollers, like on the bottom of so we also do a lubrication service for the bottom of patio sliding doors, because you've got pets, we've got pets. Actually, ours got all gummed up with dog hair and everything else that the dogs are tracking through, and so there's wheels underneath your patio door. and we can actually take that door out and fix those rollers for you and get a smooth operating door again. So we work on rollers as well.
I have had that happen. Have you ever tried to pull a door open and it sticks somewhere and you almost like tear the door out of the hinge
Yes.
before you realize you're not going to get it open? Yeah, I've had that happen where I push one open. It's like, whoa, what's going on here?
Sure.
And it's because, like you said, that track and everything gets all gunked up, and you've got to have some way to take care of that so that'll operate like it's supposed to. If you try to keep operating it like that, you will tear it up.
Sure, it just deteriorates further.
Sure.
Yeah.
It looks like we have a caller. Today we have Mitch from Nixa. Good morning, Mitch.
Good morning.
How are you?
I have a question. I'm fine. How about you?
I'm great.
Good. I have a question for the Glass Guru. In our sunroom, we have fixed panels at the top, not on the roof, but it's on the side wall.
Okay.
And there's 5 across the wall. The first one started fogging up about 2.5 years ago, and then now we have a second one next to it.
Okay.
How long can a window be fogged up before you could take the moisture out between the panels?
Sure. So you're wondering, is your first window been had moisture damage too long to have moisture removal process applied to it at this point?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. So it kind of varies. It can be anywhere from 18 months to 36 months. It depends on the severity of the seal break and how much moisture it's actually letting in. So the more you have, of course, the worse it is. And but it's a case-by-case situation that can vary from 18 to 36 months. It just depends on how bad the moisture damage has progressed.
Okay.
If it's really milky white, that's been going on for a long time and is an indicator of more severe damage. If it's still moist, you can see droplets. There's not really too much white, if any, within the dual pane. That's something that we can definitely work on.
Okay. Now, as a precautionary measure, could I have it done to all 5 of those panels?
We do actually do some preventative moisture damage repair. It's you can definitely do that. Sometimes I almost feel better if I'd rather wait and see if the damage comes before we do kind of a preemptive, because you might have a seal that holds really well and is not an issue. I guess something else I wanted to add real quick. We see moisture damage predominantly on south-facing windows and west-facing windows based on where we're at on the planet. That's where we get a lot of sun and heat in the majority of the day, largest portion of the day. So the one thing that I would say is we kind of educate our customers on what does early stages of moisture damage look like. And basically it looks like if you were to spritz the inside of the dual pane, you see the droplets. Again, back to what I was saying, there's no white discoloration. That's a prime candidate for moisture removal. And I'd almost rather wait until you see that and then do the repair process, because you might not ever need it. You might have a window that's facing north, for example, that we rarely see any broken seal issues with because it's not getting the direct sunlight for majority of the day. So, and it is a case-by-case situation. When we go out to the customers, we would look at your sunroom and try to make an assessment. And there's windows based on what direction they're facing that are more likely to have a blown seal than not.
The 2 that I'm talking about are on the south side, and they're like 11 feet. The bottom of the windows are 11 feet from the ground. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My wife does not like looking at those 2 windows, and I really don't either, but they don't bother me as much as my wife, so I think we'll have to give you guys a call to have you come out.
We'd be happy to come out and give you a quote, and we got to keep the missus happy. I know that's
happy wife, happy life.
Absolutely.
That is true.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for calling today. And we appreciate you listening to the show. And he's in Nixa, so I'm assuming that you actually do work in Nixa.
We do work in Nixa. Actually, we're based out of Springfield, but we do cover Springfield, the surrounding areas, and we're working to serve Branson at this point as well. So.
Okay. Well, there you go. I like to let our guests give out their service area because we cover way more than the areas you've talked about. And so if you live way outside that area, we're sorry. he doesn't go that far, but maybe you can find someone. Now that you're a little bit more educated, you can maybe check around in the town where you're at and find someone who does what Chris does for us down here in this part of the Ozarks. So thank you again, Mitch, for that question. That was a great question.
Really,
I didn't think about that there might be a time limit as to when that can be repaired. But, it's always better when you find a situation that's going on, or if you find something that's not working properly, it's always better to fix it now than to fix it later.
That's what we've always been told.
Yes.
And we try to do that, but sometimes we don't, and we procrastinate. And
Oh, yeah, I procrastinate
Yeah,
too. It's like,
yeah.
well, okay, maybe I'll get around to it.
So in this case, as in many others, the earlier the better.
Sure, I would think so, especially when it comes to a water situation. Water can be very damaging pretty quickly if you don't get it under control.
Agreed.
So, once again, I think what we should do is, because I get so excited about talking about what our guests do, why don't we, in case someone missed it last time, let's give out your contact information again. Let's give out your phone number. How can they get a hold of you?
You bet. You can call the Glass Guru of Springfield at 417-708-1231, and you can also learn more about us online at our website, www.glassguruofspringfield.com.
And make sure you put the Glass Guru of Springfield. That's important.
Correct.
So that way you're getting to the correct website.
You can also find us if you just Google Glass Guru Springfield Mo. It'll pop up there as well.
There you go.
So
For all you people that like to Google, we're all a bunch of Googlers anymore, aren't we?
we are.
Like to Google something and find out what we can find. Let me see. I was looking at you have on here you've got leaky window repair. We've kind of talked about that. You have here emergency services. What constitutes an emergency?
Oh, well, that's where, heaven forbid, like maybe somebody breaks out your window in the middle of the night, might have some vandalism, or
okay.
somebody throws a brick through your window. We can come out.
You need to be in a different neighborhood.
And sometimes that happens, though, in nice neighborhoods, too.
It does. It does.
And so we can help customers with that. We can come out and board the house up for you, and then get a replacement piece of glass ordered up real quick so that we can make that a non-issue for you.
Most of the time when someone has an issue and they give you a call and you come out and do an estimate, how quickly can you usually get that done? Do you guys cut your own glass?
It depends. If it's flat glass, we do cut our own flat glass
Okay.
sometimes, and then sometimes we also order it to measurement specs from our manufacturer. All our dual pane glass is coming from our manufacturer, and basically we've got about a 5-day turnaround on ordering insulated glass units.
What did you call it? Jewel pane?
Dual pane.
Dual. Oh, I thought you said jewel. I'm
No,
like, what's that?
That's okay.
Glass with glitz in it. Okay, I'm about that one. Never mind. I misunderstood that. So pretty much you can get a repair done within a week or two, depending on whether or not you have to order the glass or if it's something that you do in-house and cut for your client.
Correct.
Well, I think that's pretty quick, because I think if you're going to do, a lot of times if you're going to go in and replace windows, that's like a whole nother issue, and it can take a long time. And I will tell you, replacing all of your windows,
Not cheap.
first of all, it's not cheap. And depending on what time of the year you do it, unless it just so happens you do it where you don't need the furnace or the air conditioner on, it can be really interesting.
Very much so.
So that's one of those issues. Typically, like if you're going to replace a piece of glass, and I know this is probably a dumb question. It depends on the size of glass, I'm sure. But how long does it take to do a repair? Is that a pretty quick thing to take that out and pop one in, or?
Well, sure. So moisture removal can take us anywhere, depending on the size of the window, from half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour on some larger units that we've done in the past. As far as replacing a dual or single pane, it really depends on the type of window we talked about earlier. Wood windows are a little more complicated to get in and out of and replace the glass on. And then vinyl and aluminum, not as difficult. So vinyl and aluminum, depending on the style, probably take about an hour to replace a dual pane piece of glass, and then a wood window could take a little bit longer, again, depending on the manufacturer. Could take up to an hour and a half. So, but a good rule of thumb is probably about an hour per window, I would say.
That's pretty quick.
Not too bad.
That's pretty quick to take care of a situation like moisture or fog or whatever it is. I mean, to have that resolved in an hour is pretty good.
Very good.
So I think that all of our listeners out there who might be having those situations, and and most houses have something to do with their window. If you have a house that's very old, you're going to have a window that either doesn't go up or down properly. You're going to have one that's maybe got a little moisture in it, a little fog in it, windows just are interesting because they have an inside and an outside environment. And so that affects everything about that window. If it's cold outside and you have the heater on, I've seen windows, I've been in houses before where it looks like the windows are raining. It's kind of like, wow,
Sure.
Your own indoor environment here, environmental movement. But so there's lots of things that affect your glass, that affect your windows. Probably one good thing to do as a homeowner to know if you have an issue is probably to go around and just inspect your windows once a year. Look at them and see if you can see any minor damage, if you see any moisture anywhere, or any situation that you might need some assistance with.
No, that's a great idea, and that's actually another service that we provide. We'll come out, and if you want us to do a home window inspection and take a look at those windows for you, we can definitely do that. Something else I wanted to add in is a lot of service companies will give you an 8 to 2 o'clock window of when they will be there to do the service.
Yeah, that's kind of a spread.
Yeah, that's kind of a spread, but it's actually, I say that a little bit jokingly, but it's actually true in some situations.
Sure.
We actually make an appointment for you at 9 o'clock. We're going to be there at 9 o'clock. If we're going to be 5 minutes late, we call you and tell you we're going to be 5 minutes late. So
sure.
We take a lot of pride in that, and so we try to be very prompt with our appointments. And it's a busy life for people nowadays, and so I think that helps quite a bit. I know I would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
If somebody were coming out to me, and so that's how we try to act for our customers as well.
Well, if you have a specific time that someone knows you're going to be there, then you can plan the rest of your day.
Right.
Or you can tell your boss, okay, they're going to come out at 9, I should be at work by 11. Or if you have kids and you need to get them to certain activities and all that type of thing, to know that someone's going to be there at a specified time will just actually make your day so much easier. And I would imagine to do an estimate probably doesn't take a long time.
No, it doesn't, and it varies, but it can take about 15 minutes to assess the situation, let you know what your options are, and then leave you with a written quote. So I like to visit with folks a little bit as well.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Always interested in meeting folks, and if they have pets, well, then that takes another 5 minutes to get introduced to them.
Yes, it does. If you come to Dogwood Printing, you are going to get to spend time with Tucker before you're going to get to probably even get close to any of the rest of us.
I met Tucker yesterday, and we hung out for a couple of minutes.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
He's a sweet dog.
He is. He's a wonderful dog, and he likes to greet all of our visitors. So I understand what you mean. If there's pets or if there's children, a lot of times
Sure.
children are interested in who are you and what are you doing, and so I always like to talk to the kids and stuff as well. Sometimes people will bring their children in and first of all, they're excited about meeting Tucker, and then they ask me all these questions, and it's just fun when people do that.
It is fun.
I hear music. Are we about done?
We are about done.
Gary,
Yes,
I'm never
we're
done.
Towards the end. I know. Going to go another hour? Shall we go another hour?
Yeah, let's go for it. No, I might get in trouble for that. Well, Chris, thank you so much for being with us on the show. Great information. Everybody needs to remember the Glass Guru. If you have any problems that we've discussed today, he can help you out with that. Mark, I hope you're listening. I hope you're feeling better. I miss you, buddy. Love you, and hope to see you next week. And thanks, everyone, for being with us today right here on Home Repairs and Solutions. We're heard every Friday from 10 to 11 right here on KWTO 560 AM. Thank you.